Hi everyone, my name's Jamie. We're going to get started in just a few seconds. I'm just looking for one of my other students who I'm presuming will be on board in a second. Here we go. So, welcome to this session. Very pleased to have you here this afternoon to meet our engineering students. We're going to learn about their specialisations, how their journey at Monash Engineering is going. It's an opportunity for you as well as our visitors to the Digital Open Day to ask your questions. So please don't be shy. We've got Alyssa on the keys. We're going to, hey Alyssa, we're going to put any of your questions live that we think are suitable for further discussion and to our students. And we're going to have a good time. We did a session earlier and it was very informative. So my name is Jamie. I am beaming to you from the Clayton campus, which is the home of Monash University. It's also the home of the Kulin Nation, so we pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And what we will do is start out by getting our students to introduce themselves and to let us know what their specialisations are. And then we're going to carry on with the conversation. So why don't we start with Nicole? Nicole, do you want to introduce yourself, please, and tell us what you're studying at Monash?
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole. I'm a fourth year civil engineering student. So I'm doing civil engineering with commerce. That's my double degree.
Okay, so you're doing the double degree. How's that going for you? A lot of work?
It's a lot of work, but it's good. It's that nice balance between the two different types of study areas. And I think it's going to be really practical and useful for when I go out into industry and start working for companies. That commerce side of it will be really great addition with civil engineering.
That's very true. Very, very true. Garv, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everyone. My name is Garv, and I'm a final year chemical engineering student, and I do a single degree.
Good. So final year and your fourth year, how are you traveling? You getting there?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be my last semester, so I'm quite excited to graduate.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting ready for the big wide world. Do you think you'll graduate and go out into the workforce?
Absolutely. So yeah, I've got a lot of exposure throughout these years, and yeah, I'm quite excited to see what, where this career takes me through.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I come back to you, we'll touch on that, what you've been doing to prepare. So that's terrific. Liza.
Yes, hello everyone, I'm Liza. I'm in my third year of environmental engineering and arts. It's a bit different from everyone else. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
Excellent. And do you have, Liza, an area in arts that you're passionate about? What are you going to major in?
Yes. So I'm currently majoring in sociology and minoring in linguistics. So I'm kind of like all over the place. The sociology aspect ties in because as engineers, we solve problems. And so you need to understand who you're solving problems for. Linguistics is just because I'm nerdy.
Nothing wrong with linguistics. That's terrific. So Nicole, back to you. Do you want to tell us about, your area of study? Maybe just talk us through some of the things that you've learned so far. You can also talk about, some of the challenges as well.
So with civil engineering, for those of you that don't know, there are 4 kind of key areas that civil engineers will learn about throughout their degree. So you'll be learning about structures, which are your buildings and bridges and transport, roads and traffic. And then those are the 2 main understanding of what civil is, but it's also encompasses water, which is your water supply, treatment and storage, and then also geotechnical engineering, which is the foundations and doing all the supports for the structures that go above the surface. So throughout my degree, I study subjects that are in all 4 areas to make sure we're kind of like a well-rounded civil engineer. And from there, I can kind of pick what I want to specialize in when I go out into the workforce or with my electives. So it's the challenge in there is it's a very broad understanding of what civil engineering is. And it still means I still have a choice to make at the end of my degree on which of the 4 I would like to really pursue as my career path. So that's kind of what I'm trying to nut out at the moment.
Yeah, engineering is a very broad field. You are absolutely correct. It's one of the, well, probably at least at the last census data in Australia, it was the largest area of employment for engineers. So you noted correctly the specialisation and the fact that you have electives, and those electives are available throughout your journey in the Bachelor of Engineering. What are some of your elective choices so far? That might give us an indication where you're leaning. You know, is it water, transport, structure?
Well, unfortunately for me, as a double degree, my electives are in my commerce subjects. So yes, yeah, that's one of the other sides of doing the double degree is your electives are within commerce. But I did have a chance to do an elective in first year, and that one was it was a spatial unit, so that was kind of like more of the computer programming and drawing of structures. So that was really exciting chance to just having that opportunity to pick something that I liked, and hopefully in fourth year I do have more electives open again, and I'll get to pick then. Yeah,
look, thanks for that. You are absolutely correct, of course. When you do the double, so your double is 5 years, right? If you sort of take a full-time load. Now, if you did those degrees separately, you'd have Eng at 4 and commerce at 3, so that's 7. So the way that we achieve those doubles is to strip out the electives. So that's a fair call. What about commerce then? What are some of the subjects you're taking in commerce?
So in commerce, I'm majoring in management studies. So yeah, so it really helps with the whole idea of like project management in civil and working in those teams and working with different people. So it's
good stuff. That's terrific.
Good partner.
Good on you. Can I move on to Garv, please? Garv, do you want to tell us a little bit about your studies in chemical and what you've been learning and what's been challenging for you?
Sure. So I guess chemical engineering overall is, figuring out how do you take a material and how do you process it into something that you actually need. And this is how we develop our society. So it's been one of the foundation, building blocks of our society and, industrialization. I guess, Nicole and yourself, you're right that Monash has a lot of diversity when it comes down to engineering. And that is something that I experienced in chemical engineering as well. Being a single degree student did not, make it disadvantageous for me because I had the opportunity to still go in a lot of electives. So, apart from the core units, including thermodynamics, chemistry, unit operations, and a lot of design units where you work in teams and you get to actually do some hands-on work as well, figuring out what actually happens in the industry. And apart from that, in terms of specializations, there's an enormous amount of electives that you can do from bioprocessing, sustainable processing, nanotechnology. So all of these provided like a great exposure to me throughout my degree.
Yeah, sure. Do you have any sense at the moment yet, Garv, about where you think that process engineering and all of your studies in chemical are going to take you? Is there a particular area that you're interested in? Is it, fuels, or is it food, or is it, could be any number of things. So yeah, any thoughts?
Absolutely. So yeah, chemical engineering can come down into anything. You want to make food, you want to process water, you want to manufacture anything important, you want to make energy. Everywhere there's process engineering or chemical engineering involved. My major interest goes into either improving processes, so into sustainable processing, being able to reduce carbon emissions, making circular economies, etc., and even into providing cleaner energy to the overall industry.
That is fantastic, a great endeavour. Can I just ask the attendees, our visitors, Alyssa's here, if you've got a question, feel free to put it into the Q&A box and we'll make sure that it gets answered. This session is for you. So, Liza, do you want to tell us about your area of study in environmental? And it actually touches a bit on what Garv was just saying. What have you been studying? What's been challenging? What have you been enjoying?
I feel like I don't need to talk because Nicole and Garv have covered most of it. Environmental engineering is like, personally, in my experience, it's like a nice mixture of civil engineering, chemical engineering, and then sustainability sort of sprinkled throughout. So the things I study are things like water systems, air pollution, and material properties. So as you can tell, it's sort of very similar to what Nicole and Garv have studied. I'm only halfway through my degree, so I'm a little baby. I still have a bit of a while to go. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And I think doing an arts degree really helps because it helps balance out things. Garv, I admire you. I don't know how people do single degrees. I struggle with doing half of my degree as engineering as is. So good on you. Yeah, I really enjoy my arts units because it kind of gives me a break.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Look, on that, what do you do when you're challenged with the content, Liza? I mean, do you talk to your student friends? Do you go to your academics? Do you Google? What do you do to address the challenges?
D, all of the above.
Yeah.
Peers are very, very important, especially in engineering, because a lot of engineering work and a lot of engineering units are very group-based. And in industry, I believe it's a lot of big teams working together, so you need to be good at working in teams. So I always turn to my peers first, and most of the time, if you're struggling, other people are struggling too. And I also reach out to my lecturers, tutors. They're always there to help. So that's really, really useful. It's just a matter of taking initiative to reach out to them first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, you know, when you get to university, it's a little bit different to school, but all of the support and resources are there. But unlike school, where the teachers may come to you and, you know, tap you on the shoulder, as a university student, you've got to go and find out those resources, but they're all there and people are very willing and able to help you. So yeah, it's a great thing. So Nicole, are you involved in any of the teams and clubs in engineering, or even across you know, the university?
Yeah, so I'm involved in a few different extracurricular opportunities that Monash has afforded me. So at the moment, I'm part of the Civil Engineering Academic Student Society. So that's the designated academic club for civil engineering students at Monash.
Very good.
We run a bunch of different events throughout the semester that are really based on being able to enhance the student learning experience. We run different industry-related events with different companies from industry to kind of really build that connection and help assist students to network throughout their degree to kind of help them be in the best place for when they leave. And we also run workshops to teach students how to use different sort of technical software programs that are going to be really useful for them when they get out in industry. So yes, it's a really good opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the important part with the clubs and with the teams as well is that engagement with industry, the connection, and helping students get prepared so that by the time they graduate, they are ready to be employed, not graduating and then going out to do all of that networking and getting themselves prepared. So, Garv, how about you? Are you involved in any of the teams and clubs?
Yeah, so I guess from my first year itself, I was part of the Society of Monash University Chemical Engineers, for short. I've been there for the longest, you know, as long as my degree has gone, and I've filled in different roles. I've really enjoyed, you know, it's you work as a team, but you also enjoy the non-academic aspects of it. As Nicole already talked about, you know, how clubs actually help students engage with the industry. We also try and provide regular feedbacks to our unit coordinators, you know, providing information that will help students and coordinators improve their units. And especially in this situation where it can get quite challenging, students have a platform where they can communicate with us easily, and we can provide more information to help, you know, through their course.
Yes, and I think the great thing about the teams and clubs, and as you're all alluding to, the profession does require a lot of team engagement. Engineers tend to work in project teams, and so it's very, very important. Now, I am very happy to introduce Javindi, who we had to pluck from the attendee list. Javindi, thanks so much for joining us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're studying, please?
Yep. So hi, everyone. I'm Gayasha Givindi, and I'm specializing in materials engineering. And this is my 5th year, more so because I'm doing a double degree as well, I suppose, just like Nicole. So I'm doing Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Commerce. The reason why I chose my specialization is because when I was in my final years of school, I've always loved my chemistry so much. And then I was seeing what I could do with it. And I also knew I wanted to do engineering of some sort. So I was trying to combine these two together. And then I got to know about chemical engineering, but then I saw that it was more of a mass production sort of thing, rather than going into a sort of atomic level science sort of thing. So then I found materials engineering, which is, chemical engineering is also wonderful, but then I fell into materials engineering, which is more of they go into this depth, sort of the grains and the grain boundaries and these little dislocations, and you start moving these little atoms and pieces around, and then you get to do these wonderful things. So I thought that was phenomenal, and that's exactly why I chose it. And right now I'm doing my final year's project, since this is my last year, with CSIRO, which is a wonderful, wonderful company. And I'm doing this project where we're trying to optimize titanium for 3D printing, and I absolutely love it.
Wow, that's really cool stuff. So additive manufacturing, of which Monash is especially strong in, and of course that's in the Department of Materials Engineering Science. So that's terrific. Are you in any of the teams and clubs, or have you been associated with them over the years, Gayesha?
Yes, for sure. So I've been a part of the engineering leadership program for the longest. So I've applied for it, I got into it, and it was the most wonderful experience ever. If anyone is looking to apply, I'd say go ahead, because I think Nicole would agree with me. She was in the program with me as well. We had this 3-day sort of orientation where we were taken sort of like a trip, I would say. And then we stayed along with that people who didn't even know us. And then we got to do all these amazing activities, and we attended all these amazing webinars. And by the end of it, we knew everyone who went. And it was such a wonderful experience, such a wonderful experience.
Oh, that's terrific to hear. Can I jump across to Liza? Liza, have you been involved in any of the teams and clubs or societies more broadly? But if you've done anything in engineering in particular, that's good to hear about as well.
Yeah, of course. So I joined Robogals Monash halfway through my first year, and I've been with them for 2 years now. My term with them just ended, but essentially Robogals is a not-for-profit organization that does workshops with kids, and we teach them how to code little Lego robots in hopes to inspire them, and particularly young females, into engineering. The funny thing is that that's how I got interested in engineering. I attended one of these workshops when I was 15, and I was like, awesome. Engineering sounds really cool. So I jumped on board. So yeah, as you can tell, these clubs and societies are important for everyone, not just people within university.
Yeah, that's correct. And obviously the clubs and societies operate in a quite sophisticated manner. They have to apply, as you all know, for your funding. You have to demonstrate your projects and capabilities within the teams and clubs in order to guarantee further funding. And of course, a part of that is outreach. And I know that RoboGirls is especially good at trying to encourage young women into engineering. So it's always great to hear that initiative and those other things that we do in our outreach has had an impact on you, and then you're able to come in to the cycle and then give back in your capacity as a member of the team. So really very, very tidy. So just moving things along a bit now, Nicole, where do you see yourself heading? You're not too far off now completing your double. We know, you're doing civil. What are you hoping for, in the medium term, say the next 3 to 5 years?
So yeah, I'm in third year at the moment. So it is a really kind of important, fourth year, sorry, really important time for me and my degree. So actually, I've been working part-time as an undergrad engineering student for my local government council. So I assist there part-time, and I help out with a couple of their small renewal projects. So that's given me kind of that breadth of knowledge of what it's like in the corporate world, being on the client end. And hopefully at the moment, I'm trying to apply for some summer internships. So usually around third year, fourth year, if you're in a double degree, it's that penultimate year, the year before you graduate is when you apply for summer internships to different consultants. So at the moment, I'm in the process of trying to apply to different consultancy firms just to kind of get best of both sides to see where my interests lie. If it's because at the moment I'm doing a lot more project management, I'd like to see that design side of the consultancies, being able to be on the end of designing different parts of different structures and buildings. So I would like to really delve into structures a little bit more. So structures or a little bit of water as well. So it's a bit of between those two.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How about you, Garv? Where are you? We did talk a little bit about the application of chemical engineering to process engineering and the like. Do you have any vision for where you're going to head after this?
Absolutely. So
please.
As Nicole had said, you usually do summer internships in your penultimate year.
Yes.
In my final year, so in the last 6 to 8 months, I've had a lot of opportunity, doing an internship with the Woodside Monash Energy Partnership, as well as doing my research project in Sydney for 6 weeks. And it was all surrounded around carbon capture and decarbonization.
That's where your interest is.
Absolutely. And I know industry is an amazing place to go, but I would also say that I really like the university environment, and I am also hoping to continue doing a postgraduate over here. So I'm in the process of applying for one. Hopefully I get through and I'm able to continue working and researching in the same field as well.
Are you interested in a research track or just further coursework studies with some research?
So in a research format, so as a PhD.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's terrific. Well, good. That's, good luck. I mean, that's brilliant. And of course, the faculty is always keen for great candidates for their research programs. And there's a ton of research that we do within the faculty, of course, and income that we derive from Australian Council of Research grants and, various other facilities. So that's terrific. Liza, how about you? Where are you seeing your future in environmental?
So I'm not nearly as far along as everyone else on this panel, but I have started thinking of it. I think I'd like to work somewhere within council, like Nicole. I think that's really cool. What else? I'm really into building sustainability, so making existing structures just a little bit better for the environment and also better for people's well-being. That area really interests me, so I'm kind of exploring it at the moment, seeing what's out there, talking to people, things like that.
Oh, goody. And Gayasha, how about you? You're not too far off, so I'm completing your study. So where are you seeing yourself head?
So considering materials engineering, it's I've learned that it's such a broad, it's really, really broad. They have the ceramics, they have the biomaterials, and they have the sort of little bit of the structural, they have the metal side of it. So having gone through all my 5 years of study, I've had the opportunity to work a couple of weeks with a professor who was actually an alumni of Monash. He had a waste management company that he had started, and I had the opportunity to work there sort of like an intern for a couple of weeks. So I kind of really like that aspect of materials engineering as well, to help with the waste management, because that's more of a sustainable, environmentally friendly way that I could work towards the entire world. And with the CSIRO opportunity, I've really learned a lot, because it's been my entire final year that I've started to work there. And I really started like going deep into those studies and going more often to the labs and trying to talk with everyone there to learn more about what's happening over there and the whole titanium aspect of it. And I think I really enjoy the metal side of it as well. So I'm kind of in between. Maybe I want to go towards a bit more waste management, environmental side, or maybe the metal side of materials engineering as well. But then there's also the biomaterials side, which I loved for so long, but I've not had the opportunity to explore it as much. So who knows, maybe once I'm done, I'll even try to do a bit more of that as well.
It sounds like you've got a good number of options, and that's always the best thing, right? Yeah. All right. Well, look, we haven't got long to go. There's a couple of questions that Alyssa has posted that we'll look at live, and then I'm going to ask each of you for a few words of advice for our student audience, and then we'll wrap it up. So one question is, what areas of engineering does Monash particularly excel in? Look, there are a number of areas. You can Google Monash engineering rankings to get a full snapshot. And maybe Alyssa has posted as well. In Australia, we're number one in chemical and metallurgical. We're equal best for materials science and nanoscience. So that's probably no surprise to some of us here. We're second to fifth in mechanical, remote sensing, energy science, civil, transportation science and technology, and minerals and mining. So that's just to give you a taste, but Google and you'll get more info. What double degrees can be completed with environmental engineering? I've just got my details up here. So with Enviro, you can do an arts degree, which of course is what Liza is doing. You can do a commerce degree, or you can double up with science if you are interested in doing environmental engineering. How did you decide which engineering area of study? Well, we've sort of talked about that with our students now. And what's it like studying engineering online? Garv, do you want to just give us 30 seconds about being, on campus, off campus, on campus again, what online has been like? Just a brief summary.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess pretty much half of my degree has been online from 2020 onwards. It's been interesting because it definitely is a transition, but there obviously has been positive aspects of it in terms of better arrangements for our group projects, more support from our demonstrators and lecturers. Some aspects of our projects have also been changed to an online format, and we really enjoyed it. It definitely is a challenge because we've always studied in an in-person format. Yes. But I think this is a change which will obviously be more permanent in nature in the future.
Yeah, that's absolutely a good point. I think that the world has changed, and the nature of education as well, and that blended thing that we're going through is going to continue, and it makes some sense in regards to, especially for things like lectures where you can access on demand, and then it enables you to do other things with your valuable time. We're all time, scarce. So let's get Nicole. Nicole, final words, please. Any advice for our students that are with us for the session this afternoon?
I think my advice, I'll do it in two parts. So if you're still in high school, my advice would be to really stick with your passion behind maths and physics, because it'll really assist you when you get into engineering and saves you doing foundation units in your first year.
Good advice.
And my second advice, once you're in engineering and in civil, I think really be open to trying as many opportunities that you get. Don't be scared that you're still in your first year or your early years, that it's too early to get started. It's not. There are so many opportunities, and you just have to keep on top of your emails, and you'll see that engineering has a lot to offer.
Yeah, really good point. Thanks, Nicole. To our students out there, first year is a common year, so you do get to experience everything. You don't need to come into the degree knowing what you want to do. You can make that decision at the end of the first year. Liza, what would you like to, in your journey so far, what would you say to the students in year 11 and year 12?
This is a message specifically for any females in year 11 and 12. Do it anyway, even if it's scary, even if you're the only female in the room. It's daunting. I understand, I've been there, but just do it because you're doing it for yourself. And as long as you enjoy it, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, what a terrific message. And I would like to add that we, do all we can to support young women in engineering, and you're a great testament to that, Liza. So thank you. Gayesha, what would you like to say to our students?
Yeah, I'd like to say I came in to engineering not knowing which field I want to do as well. So it's completely fine not to know. Nobody's certain of where you want to go, and that's completely fine. You don't have to be worried about it. So just use that first year to sort of explore your opportunities. And Monash is such a great place to do that because they give you so much opportunity, so many programs. There are clubs, there are industry visits. Don't miss them. Go to them, talk to your lecturers, because they know way more than we do, and they've been through there, done those things. And just try and grab every opportunity. And even with these assignments and the studies, always know that they're going to be important in some way when you start working. So it's not the work that's going into waste. It's definitely something that you'll need to know when you start working one day. So always try to look at that practical aspect rather than the theoretical aspect. And I'm pretty sure that'll help you out.
Yeah, that's really very good advice. I think that you've got to make the most of all of those opportunities. I've been in the faculty for a little while now, and it amazes me what is available beyond the formal and theoretical learning in engineering. There is really a whole world of applied learning, and with our teams and clubs and all of the professional development programs, all of the support for learning, I think, is all there as well. And students need to grab all of those opportunities and run with them. So we are on the half hour. Can I thank Nicole and Liza, Garv and Gayesha, wonderful students. We really appreciate you coming on board for this session. I'd like to thank all of the students who have put up their questions. Big thanks to Alyssa as well on the keys. And we hope that we've been able to give our visitors a bit of a sample of what it's like to study engineering at Monash University. Take care, everyone. Thanks. Bye.